Hey friends, my name's Nicole Lynn and this is my channel where I talk about all things Disney. Duh. And welcome to Own Your Magic Part 7? Yes, Part 7 of my Disney College Program application tips. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys tips for your work experience section and for your Disney resumes. So let's go ahead and get started. Friends, welcome to part 7 now of my 8-part video series about the Disney College Program application tips, which is just filled with tips to help you get accepted into the Disney College Program. So this was originally a 6-part series, and if you guys haven't watched any of my previous videos, make sure you go back and check those out because I'm literally going over every single step of the process and everything you could possibly need to know. And I've decided to add these 2 bonus videos for you guys. So today we're going to be going over, your work experience section that you fill in on your online application. And then tomorrow I'm going over Disney College Program frequently asked questions. So make sure you join me tomorrow as well. And just so you guys know, I am not doing a giveaway for these 2 bonus videos because your girl right here, she's broke. And I'm already doing my other 6 giveaways. So if you guys are interested in having 6 different opportunities to win a $25 Disney gift card, make sure you go check out my other videos and I will have all the details in there for you. And just realize you have until the end of August to sign up for those. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Now, before I get started with this video, I do have some disclaimers that I'm putting in front of all of these videos. So just bear through these with me. Alright guys, really fast, I just have 3 disclaimers I need to go through with you. So the first disclaimer is that I cannot guarantee you're going to be accepted to the Disney College Program. I sincerely hope these videos are helpful and these tips ultimately get you accepted, but overall I just cannot promise. I wish I was like a fairy godmother. I could wave my magic wand and get everyone accepted, but I cannot, so just realize that this is not a guarantee you will be accepted. My second disclaimer is that I am not a Disney College Program recruiter and I am not associated with Disney College Program recruiting. These tips are based on my personal experiences, talking to other cast members about their experiences and things that have been posted on the recruiters' social media websites or on their personal social media accounts. And disclaimer number 3 is that the Disney College Program application process is subject to change at any time. So I'm making these videos in 2019. So if you are watching these in the future, just make sure this information is still relevant. And disclaimers are over. I did want to mention that if you guys are applying for the spring 2020 program, make sure that you drop me your Instas in the comments below. And if you're going to be starting a vlog, make sure you let me know what your YouTube channel is. I will happily follow and subscribe to you. All I ask is that in return, you go over to my Instagram, follow me, and I have lots of fun Disney content going up for you guys all the time. And also don't forget to like this video, give me a big thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. So I've been on the Facebook page, and if you're not on the Facebook page, by the way, I definitely recommend it, especially if you are going to be applying for spring 2020. All you have to do is look up Disney College Program Spring/Spring Advantage 2020, and I think there are 2 pages. I've been chilling on the one that has a picture of the Epcot ball with yellow flowers in front of it. That one has been great. And so I've been chilling out in there, and there's all these crazy theories going on, when are these apps going to drop? A lot of people think it's going to be on Monday the 12th, and others are no, it's definitely going to be the 19th. Everybody's acting like they know when apps are going to drop, when actually nobody knows when apps are going to drop, and the recruiters are making these little teasers on social media. So I hope for everyone's sanity, they do drop on the 12th, and it is this Monday, because I know that waiting is the worst part of it. So I was hanging out in the Facebook page, and I noticed that a lot of people were asking for an alumni to review their work experience or their resume, and I was like, oh, yeah, I could totally do that because I actually kind of have a background in that. First of all, I was a hiring manager over at Old Navy for a while, where I was actually in charge of reviewing resumes, interviewing applicants, and then later training them. So I have a background in hiring, and again, not Disney. Like, we already know the disclaimers, I'm not a Disney recruiter, but I also worked a semester at my school's career office, and so I went to a lot of the seminars where they talked about resumes, interviews, and all that jazz. And my desk for that job was like right outside of the main advisor's office. So she basically left her office door open. So pretty much anytime somebody came in to talk to her about their resume, like I overheard so many of those conversations. So I just feel like I have a lot of information in that area. So I just was like, yeah, I could totally do that for people. So I just made this Canva graphic really fast in like 3 minutes, and it just said like, send your work experience and resumes to me, and like with my contact info. And I'm not even kidding, like an hour later I had like 30 of them in my inbox, and I don't know how many I did total, but I definitely did at least 30. So I was freaking out at first because it was like, oh my gosh, like I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to reply to each and every one of these before applications drop, which was potentially going to be Monday. So I was like, oh my goodness, well, what do I do? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to respond to all of these in time. And then I noticed that probably in the first 10 I looked at, that people were generally kind of doing the same thing. Like, I had the same tips for them. So I was like, you know what? It went really fast because I did read through every single one. And a few of them I had to give like really specific, like detailed like notes, but a lot of them it was just kind of the same notes that I had given to several people. So I was like, you know what, I think that there is enough confusion in this specific area that I'm gonna make a video. So that's why I decided to make this part 7 for you guys, to go over this, because there have been a lot of questions about this particular section of the application, and I have reviewed 30 of them, so I am now an expert. I do need to stress, like I cannot stress this enough, that your application is so important. I would argue that the 2 most important sections on your online application are your work experience section, which we're talking about today, and your role selection, and that is like your role preferences. Like those are like the 2 biggest things about your application. So I think we've gone enough into detail about roles. I'll probably go a little bit more over that tomorrow in my frequently asked questions, but if you are still have like questions about roles, go over and check my application video. It's part 3, and hopefully that'll answer some of your questions for you. But today we are going in depth over that work experience section. Just so you know, you are able to go ahead and fill this information in. All you have to do is, I'm actually going to show you guys on my laptop. So basically you're going to go to your dashboard, you're going to log in, make sure you know your password, put it in your phone or somewhere so that you know it. You're gonna log in, and then you're gonna go up to your profile. Over here, you click on your profile, and this is where you get to fill in your work experience. Here is kind of a crazy thing that happened is, I actually, back when I applied, which was just a little over a year ago now, we actually had it a little different. They've kind of changed it up just slightly. So basically what we used to have is, we used to have like, you know, it says, you know, your employer or like company, and you're going to fill in who your employer is. Then it's going to say job title. So you fill in your job title, you're going to fill in, you know, dates worked. So when I applied, we had 2 things. We had a responsibilities box and we had a skills box, which was separate. And all I can show you guys is like a really small screenshot that I had. So that's what my dashboard looked like until literally this afternoon. Like every time I was logging in, I still had this responsibilities and skills box. Well, the thing is that people who have applied since it looks like last season, they have now gotten rid of this skills box. It only has a responsibilities box now. And then if you go to the bottom of your dashboard, you're going to see a skills section where it's actually going to let you pick out skills. And it says up to 50. And I mean, I was like trying to do like type in A, type in B, but I mean, there are so many things in here. Like, it is insane how many skills you can list on this thing. So it's a little bit different than it used to be. So I think people, when I was like giving them advice, they were getting so confused, like, Nicole, what are you talking about? Because I would be like, hey, you forgot your skills, like make sure you have that. And they're like, what are you talking about? So with that being said, we are going to talk more about what you actually fill in your responsibilities box, but I do have a few other things we're going to talk about before that. But just in case you are an alumni and you're like really confused, they did change it. So now you just have a responsibilities box and then you have a skills list that is separate at the bottom. So also something I just needed to go over before we really start getting into my tips for filling out your work experience is that I need to make sure you guys understand the difference between work experience, volunteer experience, and resume. There's like a lot of confusion between these things, so I just want to make sure like everybody understands. So on your application, basically you have a section that is going to give you 5 of those boxes, and that is for both work experience and volunteer experience. Your volunteer experience is not separate from your work experience, and you're only going to have 5 of those boxes, so you have to decide what you want to use. Like some people have more than 5, so you just need to pick your top 5. Maybe you had 5 jobs, but you also have 2 volunteer experiences. So you need to decide, would you rather put 3 jobs in both of your volunteer experiences, or do you want 4 jobs, 1 volunteer experience? Like that's up to you. But just realize that you only have 5 sections. It is for both work and volunteer experience. Your volunteer is not separate. So then other people are getting confused because they've heard resume and they've been asking me to review their resume. That's fine. I'm more than happy to review a resume. But what they don't realize is that you don't just drop a resume in there. Like you are going to have to fill out that section with like your previous work experience with the responsibilities boxes. Also understand that it is not required for you to submit a resume. So like your work experience is separate, and then later on in the application they will ask you, it might even be right after that section, they're gonna give you a place where you can submit a cover letter and a resume. You can do that. A lot of people don't, and they get accepted. I personally was somebody who I had a resume ready to go, and I just kind of knew deep down if for some reason I did not get accepted, like part of me and my brain was going to be like, I didn't get accepted because I didn't submit a resume. I don't really know why they let you submit a resume. Like I don't know at what point they pull those out. I really don't think it's at the beginning of this process. So I really don't know, but if you have one, sure, put it on there. I guarantee you it doesn't hurt. I don't know if it helps, but I don't think it hurts. I will say that maybe don't submit a resume unless it's been peer reviewed or reviewed by an advisor from your school, just because you really don't want to put a bad resume, one that you're just kind of making in 5 minutes. And it seems like there are a lot of people who are willing to look at it like me and make sure it looks good. So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood there is like volunteer work experience is the same thing. They are not 2 different things, and your work experience section is separate from your resume. And if you have a resume, great. If you don't, I know so many people in this program who are accepted without a resume, including my husband. It is not required. So if you don't have one, you don't have to freak out. But if you do want one, go ahead and start working on that and put it in there. I just want to stress something before I really get into like, here is what you need to do when filling out your work experience. Let me pause for drama. Like, this application is so important. Like, you have got to look good here. It's frustrating because you don't really get to show a lot of like you as a person on here. Like, it's very clinical in a way. I think what bothered me the most is like deep down I knew there is no way there are recruiters sitting down looking at these like thousands of applications being submitted. There is no way. And like there are people who get their web-based interview within like 30 minutes of submitting their application, and I just deep down knew that it's not because somebody is reading this, it is because it is going through a computer, and this computer is going to decide if I am eligible to work at Disney. And that just kind of killed me a little bit. Like, it literally made me itchy. Like, when I'm anxious, I feel like itchy, like my skin is crawling to think about it. So I cannot stress enough how important this section is, because this is the only section where you really get to stand out and show you as a person. Like, why are you going to be a great cast member? Why are you a great person? Why should they hire you? Like, this is the section where you really get to shine. And this is also the section where you get to stand out against the pack. It's not easy to do. It does take effort. I understand, like, it's kind of scary because it's weird to me, like, in this process, you don't get human contact until the last step. Like, because first you're gonna put in your application, a computer is going to decide if you get a web-based interview. You're gonna take this web-based interview and a computer is going to decide if you have the right personality to work at Disney. And then it's not even till your phone interview, till you get to have human contact and interaction for somebody to be like, oh wow, I really like them. I think they would be a great cast member. And that's terrifying. Like, you have to get through 2 steps of not even really showing you as a person, except in like this very technological way. This section is so important, and that's why I'm making a whole video on it. So rant over. Now we're actually going to talk about what you need to do while filling out your work experience or volunteer experience. Okay, so there are 2 debates that I see happening on the Facebook page. And the first one is, do I just use 3 to 5 bullet points, or do I put more? And then the other debate is, do I use bullet points or do I use full sentences? So we're gonna go over both of those. I'm just recently, for the first time, hearing that a lot of people are being told that you only need 3 to 5 bullet points. And I don't know where this is coming from. I have done a lot of research on this. I'm almost positive this is not coming from recruiters themselves. So I'm assuming that this is coming from somebody who has a background in working with resumes. Because yes, on a resume, like any resume that you would submit to an employer, of course, you only have a page to like explain the job and like the responsibilities you had. So yeah, you only want to use 3 to 5 bullet points on a resume. However, the Disney College Program application is not like any other job application. This is not filling out a resume. Like, Disney is giving you those boxes for your responsibilities. They are not giving you 1 page. They're literally giving you a box, like 5 boxes actually, that you can just fill in with information. I don't think it is helpful for you to limit yourself to 3 to 5 bullet points. Like, each and every job that I've had, I can easily come up with 12 responsibilities for them. I'm telling you right now that I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is where you have to stand out. This is where you need to separate yourself from the pack. And of those 30 resumes I looked at, 2/3 of them were people doing 3 to 5 bullet points. And I just think, to the point that it was scary how much they all sounded exactly the same. And you won't stand out that way. I don't know where this tip is coming from. I really don't think it's a Disney College Program tip, and I really honestly don't think it is a good one to follow. Because also, some of these some of these bullet points are just like so vague, which we're gonna get into here in a little bit. But they are so vague. It's just like, worked leadership position, talk to customers, clean the back room, stuff like that. How in the world do you think somebody who has, like, you have 3 jobs listed, you're only putting 3 to 5 bullet points in there, versus somebody who has 5 jobs and they're writing like 2 paragraphs of information? Again, I really don't know, but as I mentioned earlier, we are like 99.9% sure that recruiters do not look at this first. They might eventually look at it, but they don't see it first. I don't think a computer is going to read through it and be like, oh, they use 6 bullet points, they're out. Like, the computer doesn't care if you use 3 to 5 bullet points. You do not want to limit talking about what responsibilities you were trusted with and also what you have to offer in your skills. Like, you don't want to limit that information, but at the same time, there is a lot of room for text. So make sure that you're not putting a lot of useless information. Like, it is well edited. You are making sure that what you are saying is valuable and is going to make you look really good. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. in the 3 to 5 bullet points. I know a lot of people are getting that feedback. I'm just, again, not a recruiter. I really don't know. My point of view is that I would not recommend that. I would recommend that is the bare minimum that you should be doing. Like that is like that is like here, but I would say you want to be here. Like you do not want to be at the bare minimum, because again, I really think that you just look like everybody else then. The other big debate on the pages is bullet point versus full sentences. I know people who did both and they both got accepted. I really don't think there is a right answer here. I did full sentences because I'm a PR major, and even when I took like quizzes and tests, we had to write our answers in full sentences. So it's like ingrained in me that I have to be in full sentences. I think the people that when I did 30, one girl, no, it was for sure one person, maybe 2 people had full sentences. Some people kind of did like they had full sentences, but then they put them in bullet points. And some people just do flat out bullet points. I've seen it work for either way. I guarantee you, as long as you are putting good information in there, it's going to be fine. The thing that you have to watch with bullet points, like I mentioned earlier, is that you can't be vague. You have to be descriptive. So that's where these last 2 like really important things you need to keep in mind. So these are the 2 most important things you need to do when filling out that responsibility section in your work experience. Is the first one is you need to be descriptive. If you are just listing like little notes, like a grocery list, like communicated with guests, cleaned the break room, arrived on time, used leadership skills, like I don't know, like I'm just kind of like jotting random things down. Like that is not very specific. And I've also heard from other employers, this wasn't true when I worked at Old Navy, but a lot of times, especially employers that run resumes through systems, something about active adverbs is like compelling to them. Instead of saying something like communicated with guests, you would say efficiently communicated with guests. Like you just add on an active adverb, and it just makes it sound like you are a lot more serious about the job, that you were a lot more invested in the job, that you know you like working. I don't know, like it just sounds better than just kind of like a check on the list. Like you were passionate about it. So you need to add descriptive language, and it needs to be a variety of descriptive language, which I did go over in my application video, but I just didn't go as in depth into it. So I just like cannot stress this enough. Like it is so important that you are being super descriptive. And that's why I would almost say like maybe challenge yourself to write full sentences. And if it feels weird, like maybe just turn those full sentences into bullet points, but just make sure they are detailed bullet points. And also I would highly suggest giving examples. Like don't just be like, I was friendly to customers. Like I was friendly to customers by greeting them with a smile. I would say, again, being more descriptive is going to help you more. So don't just be like, I was a leader. Like I was a leader by training new people. Like those are good examples of how you use the skills you had and your responsibilities. Like it's kind of combining both. And I know that it's kind of confusing because, you know, it just says responsibilities and then the skills are down in the corner. I would challenge you to add your skills in your responsibility box. Like make sure that you are not just putting like, this is what was required of me. This was the bare minimum of what I had to do for my job. Also make sure you put the things that you brought to that job. So responsibilities are what was expected of you. Skills are things like, what did you learn from working there? What did you do well at your job? So like things for me at Jungle Cruise is because I worked there, I got better at stressful situations. I got better at listening to guests. I actually gained skills from that job. So that's also a really good thing to list, is not just your responsibilities and what was expected of the job. And I know, again, there's going to be that skills section down there, but anything that makes you sound good, put it in the responsibilities box. And then the second really important thing that I cannot stress enough that you need to do is you need to use Disney keywords. I know people who have gotten professional internships with this tip. Like, that system that they're running through Disney, it definitely is flagging Disney keywords. And it's going to feel weird when you're talking about a store and you're saying merchandise instead of retail. It's going to be weird saying guest instead of customer. It's going to be weird saying resort instead of hotel. Like, it's kind of awkward. I even sometimes, instead of saying coworkers, I was saying cast members. Instead of saying manager, I was saying leaders and coordinators. I would say the 4 most important words that I would even argue you need to put them for all of your work experiences are safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. Those are your golden tickets. Again, I really doubt it's gonna hurt you, and I'm really positive it definitely helps you. Just a little side bonus tip for you guys. I don't know if any of you have heard of Grammarly. Like, it's a free website. All you have to go and like you can sign in with your Facebook or an email address, and basically you get like a little shortcut button, and it will actually edit grammar for you. And there is a premium option, but you also can have the free option. It's pretty helpful, and it does a really good job catching spelling errors. And I know that my Grammarly was working in the dashboard. So if you are somebody who struggles with spelling, and I know that the first time I went through it, I don't think I had Grammarly. And when I later reviewed my application, I actually had spelling errors in there. Make sure to avoid spelling errors. One really good tip is read it out loud. Like, I don't know why, but my brain catches things so much better when I'm reading it out loud than if I'm reading it in my head. Maybe have somebody read it before you submit it. And also get Grammarly, which will catch things for you. Okay guys, I really think that was it for me today. Definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you gonna use bullet points or full sentences? What do you guys think of this 3 to 5 bullet points thing? And let me know if you have any questions. And don't forget to join me tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going over Disney College Program frequently asked questions, which should be the last video in this series. So make sure you guys join me tomorrow. Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to have you here on my channel, and don't forget to like this video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to get more videos about the Disney College Program, Disney content in general, go and hit that subscribe button. I am sending lots of luck and pixie dust your way through this entire process. Thank you guys so much for watching, and always remember, own your magic. Bye.